Mikael Gustafsson, Swedish member of the GUE, the United Left group, and the first male chair of the Women's Rights Committee. We have seen progress in women's rights over the last few years, but they still got a long way to go, haven't they, to catch up with men?
Yes, there are. Of course, you can see some increasing in gender equality, definitely. But there's a lot of things. For example, when equal pay, for example, still is like a woman is only earning 80% of what men is earning, and you have men's violence against women. You have trafficking issues. You have a lot of more issues that are really concerning. And so we are definitely not in a society where gender equality is here.
An awful lot of women's jobs too seem to be part-time or they're repetitive jobs. They're not jobs they're not real careers as such. No. They're a way for a woman to earn a living, and men don't take those sorts of jobs mostly, do they?
No, and that's also because many women have low wages and they have part-time work. They also take more responsibility for children and family. So in that case, they got much more very less earnings, and they also that means the economic independence of women are not so high, and then you don't are free to do what you want if you are not economic independent.
It does also mean presumably that they're harder hit, if you like, by the economic crisis than men are by and large, and they're the first ones to lose their jobs.
Exactly, because I think a lot of women are more dependent on the welfare system than men are. So when you have financial crisis, the welfare system always get cut down and things, and in that case, women really affects more than men. Yeah.
But women do have trouble breaking through the glass ceiling, of course, and getting onto the boards and so on. And yet, according to Vivian Redding, the Commissioner, and other research, companies that have more women on the boards, not all women, but who have a mixed board, if you like, actually do better than those that are male dominated.
Yeah, and that's not strange because we don't have a gender equality society, and that means that men and women are coming from different realities, and then we have a different kind of experience when we take in. And if you have a more diversity in the board, you have different kind of experience and different kind of competence, and of course that is more efficient, and then you also can gain profit because you're doing things in a much better way.
Now, I've heard it said by a woman who was very successful is that young girls should be told, don't be a good girl, because they're always told, be a good girl, don't push yourself forward. And if they did push themselves forward, they'd get further.
No, that's true. And because we are socially built, when we are very small, we are learn how to behave as a boy and a girl, and this kind of stereotypes really diminish the opportunity and the freedom for me as an individual to do whatever I want. Because why should you have only 50% to choose of when you can have 100%? So if you take away all these stereotypes, it's really going to affect that you can choose 100% of the life.
We do need more women in politics as well, don't we? Because
yes.
They're disproportionately badly represented. I mean, I was surprised to see that the British Parliament, for instance, is number 53rd in the world ranking, next to Malawi. And the Scandinavian countries like yours do rather better. Yeah,
I was surprised when I saw this UK figure, but also surprised when I compare, for example, European Parliament only has 35% of women, and I don't think that's good. But if you look at the national parliament, it's not even 25% of women. That's really bad. I mean, that's much more bigger issue than quotas or board or anything there, because that's part of democracy, and the democracy should have representative. And if the people are not represented in the parliament, I mean, do you really have democracy then? If I put it very frankly.
You're hoping to see progress, just briefly, during your chairmanship of the Women's Committee?
Yes, and maybe on a different kind of topics. For example, I really want to direct on men's violence against women, because that's a really human right issue that's really important. And I also want to see that the council really come back with on maternity leave. I know in the UK, for example, they really disagree in that, but I think we have to have some common sense. And I also want that we could have some discussion, debates on equal pay.
Mikael Gustafsson, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Bye.
That's great. Thanks a lot.